some of you guys will be starting businesses pretty soon, I'm sure. So, okay, all of these have been pre-boiled for 3 minutes for disinfecting. I'm also going to do this on all my surfaces. And so what I'm doing is I have what I call an artisan skincare lab, right? Because I am making stuff that people are going to put on their faces. It's very important to make sure that I prevent microbial growth, right? Because this is on people's faces and they're paying for these products. And you know, safety is really important, especially when we're trying to look at the idea of making stuff ourselves. Part of the reason, one of the things we've gotten used to, I think part of the theme of this course is looking at how we've gotten so used to just going to the store for everything, right? But that all the stuff that's in the store was once handmade by everybody every day a long time ago. And that is possible, but there's a lot of little steps involved to make sure that we do it safely, because a lot of the stuff in the store, because of the nature of it having to be in the store, has a lot of preservatives and has a lot of things in it that prevent this sort of thing from happening. Like if you go to Lush, they have handmade skincare, all that stuff is just exposed to the elements. There's some pretty big preservatives in a lot of that stuff. And I think they do the best they possibly can as a company from trying to keep their stuff as safe as possible. But in all true honesty, the sort of things that can happen as a result of bacterial growth in stuff we put on our skin and our body is too much of a risk to just have stuff out in the open like that, preservative free. And so in order for me to do this, you see my bottles are a dark colored bottle, right? They're small portions. I use a natural preservative, or I use just oil-based stuff. So there's ways to get around using preservatives, but in the end, it's safer to use a preservative than not, because bad things can happen, right? We talked a little bit about compromising the skin and what happens if we got a cut and then we're exposed to bacteria. It's not good. Okay, so I have my scale. So I'm going to, everything's sterilized. All right, did I say sterilized? Everything's disinfected, not sterilized. Okay, so I'm gonna tee that out. How many of you guys have done science before, where you make stuff? Cool. Have you guys made stuff in your science class?
Yeah.
What have you made? Well, like,
the black thingy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, should we put carbon dioxide or something?
Yeah.
cool.
And it, in one of those glass things and it just grew.
What was it?
I don't know, it just, so she put it in one of those.
It was
Glass
sugar with
things.
something.
Yeah, and then it
like
grew.
a giant black thingy.
Cool.
And it was hot and it didn't smell like anything, but she said it was toxic.
Well, and that's cool to know, right? When we start combining things, stuff can happen. So it's important to know what that's going to be before you start combining things. Okay, how much jojoba oil do I need, you guys?
You need
134.5.
134.5.
134.5. Okay, do you guys have any idea why I'm using this stainless steel container here?
Stainless steel kills germs?
So yes, so I heard two brilliant things. One, that yes, prevents the light from getting in, right? I think I heard that. And the other one, it's not so much that stainless steel kills germs, but it germs can't grow on it, which is really cool. So then you can cut things on it and mix things on it, and it won't grow, which makes it perfect for what I want to do. So 134 points, wait, 130, what?
134.5.
Okay, I went over. Okay, so this is why you ideally shouldn't be talking, but this is okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm This is why we have a lab notebook. Okay, so you're videotaping. Will one of you mind writing, take that dry erase marker right there under 134.5, and next to that jojoba, write 135.3. Next on the, oh, that's good, yeah. 135.3. Okay, so what's that difference? It's 1.2?
No, it's 0.8.
0.8. Okay, perfect. So what we want to do is, with that vitamin E, this is one way to do this. With that vitamin E, we're going to subtract 0.8. So I'm going to now do 2.2, not of the hydrosol, the vitamin E. Okay, so I'm going to 2.2, right? Just very careful, because vitamin E is pretty heavy. Okay. You can see this can actually be a very kind of like time-consuming process to do right. Okay. And then the scale is not really the most fine scale, so it takes a while. Okay, 2.2, perfect. Okay, there we go. And I like to take this and just wipe it off every time. Make sure the lid is closed, especially with essential oils. And all these plant oils have, well, because they're natural, they are going to go through the natural process of breaking down. So you always want to keep them as well sealed and protected as possible. Okay, so now I have 137.5 grams of oil. And then I'm going to tea that back out. I'm going to take my hydrosol. Who remembers what a hydrosol is?
Water.
Okay, what else? So it's water-based. When is it made? How is it made? When an essential oil is made. So one of these days I'll draw a little drawing, but when they distill out the essential oils of a plant, water is involved in that process, and the water that is the byproduct is actually a hydrosol. Okay, so I'm not going to talk while I measure this out. So 137.5. Close. I like to use a little cap. And I know there's fancier ways to do this. I guess I lied about not talking, huh? Ooh, 37.5. Exactly. This is the reason why when you're making skincare like this, you're actually making it to sell, and you want standardization so people know what they're getting. You want to use a scale that's a bit better, because it'll actually go out like more decibels. Okay, so I'm going to. Does anyone know what emulsification is and how a lotion is made? Mm-hmm. So basically, these two, oil and water, are immiscible, right? They can't be combined, right? Naturally, I'll show you. Naturally, they separate, right? They don't go together. It's something to do with hydrogen or oxygen. So that means they're immiscible. So there are two different types of liquids that separate. See? And so how in the world are we going to get these to be a lotion? So how lotions are made is through a process called emulsification. So essentially, an emulsifier, or mechanical things, by mechanical means, is used to blend the oil and water. Now, in order to do that mechanically, it actually requires a lot more of energy and has to be done a certain way, and heat is involved. Or at least, anyway, we won't get into that because we don't have a lot of time. But you can use what's called an emulsifier, which is an additive you can add, which will help bind the water and the oil together. So what we're gonna do, okay, I'm gonna do that. And this is actually the first time I've ever used this thing. Normally, I just sit here and do this.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, and then I have to keep doing it as I go. So, what I want to do with you guys is I'm going to have you guys come up. I want each of you to grab one of these. Go ahead. Okay. So, and you can go ahead and kind of stay in, I guess I can walk around to you guys. So yeah, everybody grab one of these and pull off, I like your sweatshirts, and pull off the cap. But try not to touch the place where the cap goes on.